Hi, this is George, and this is day number 31 for my Swatchtober. And as you can see, it's pretty much filled up. But what I always do is after I initially go through the doodle process, especially if I'm using a wet medium like watercolor or Caran d'Ache, I will go over the doodle and apply some defining details. Normally, I would have a list of the supplies that I'm going to be using, but sometimes you may not have the same supplies as I do. So I'm going to be using Staedtler 8 pigment liner, my standard, and what I'm going to do initially is to find the border that I have, but instead of doing a straight line, I will follow the doodle as the lines present themselves. So I'm going to fast speed up this, so I'll see you when I'm done. And if you go over the line, ink it, because nobody will know. Okay. Another thing I like to do is maybe include a bit more detail in some areas. Like here, This is a fun part of the doodling because you can make in other areas sing more. That way your eyes will constantly be traveling over your doodle. And balance it out. So bring in some weight, like the black, and some here. And if you have seen my videos before, you know that I like gold and white and black. And I use a dotting stylus for applying solid color. So for example, I have folk art. It's a kind of craft paint, and I like the texture that I can get using the stylus. And you can go over the colors, because obviously the acrylic is going to be very opaque. And let's add some up here. But remember where you place the gold so that you don't put your hand or elbow in the wet paint. So I think, well, maybe a little bit. I'm going to recap this and then shake it up, clean off my point, and make it all better and new again. Be careful where you put this and be aware that it's there, so that way you don't bump into it. So this is dark, so I'm going to add some gold up here. And a little bit down here. Just have fun and explore. Because remember, this is only a piece of paper. Yeah, well, why not? Because that felt kind of lonely, and I want to switch it up a little bit. So let's see. I'm using my golden acrylic fluid acrylics, and I like these because they're very opaque. I did some up here, just here, some dots here, and let's see, here. And if you go over the lines, that's okay. It doesn't matter because nobody will know that that wasn't planned. So I'm going to give this a rest and come back when the acrylics are dry. Another thing that I like to use is a Uniball Signo white gel pen. It's really a fine line. Sometimes it's easier to use on unpainted surfaces, but you can also use it on painted surfaces. I like these because they're less expensive than say Posca or a paint pen. But depending upon the surface, it's better or less. So the Uniball wasn't really working for me at right now. So if one piece of material doesn't work, try something else. And these are Jelly Roll Moonlight. I got these, I don't know, about 4 years ago, and I still haven't used them, but why not? Maybe another color. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I'm just trying as I go along. It's this is a kind of a gray one. Which is more subtle than the black. Let's try it here. Yeah, very good. And of course, the one I use is here, so that's the one that is going to be a little bit difficult. Okay, I got it. So now that I have it, what I'm going to do with it. Okay. Make sure I'm in frame because I'm sometimes out of frame, and make sure it's recording. Good, I like that. That's definitely a keeper. And let's go for another contrast color, which is, I don't know what there's listing, but it's a blue. And little bit of stippling because I love stippling. It's basically a series of tiny dots to fill the space. And the closer they get, the more defined and clustered together. For example, this is clustering kind of the same color scheme, but if you go in here with the orange and the blue, they're kind of opposite on the color wheel, so they'll be more balanced and offer some added texture and interest. I'm having fun with the jelly roll, so I'm going to go in with a little bit more. Okay, that's enough of the jelly roll. Okay, going in with my signal over the black. That works. So going back in with my stylus. With my stylus, and this time I'm going to be using my golden fluid acrylics in black. I'm going to shape up the bottle a little bit, and let's go with a smaller point. Now, you could do this with a pen, but again, I like the texture that I receive from the little blobs. Plus, I don't take the chance of ruining or gunking up my pens. And remember to clean off your stylus point, and let's do it a little bit in here on the white. Good. Okay. And selectively, I did some dots on the white, but dots, now I'm going to include a little bit over here. Not a lot. There you go. And careful not putting my hand in here. You know the old saying, a little goes a long way, and less is more. Well, sometimes I forget that. So I don't know when to stop. And for the limited time that I've been working with the black, I still have paint on my fingers, but that's okay. So I bought these craft paint from Folk Art before my stroke, and I haven't used them, but I'm going to try using them now. So basically, what I'm going to do is, and this is a plastic paint well that I got from Michael's, or no, it was from Dollar Tree. I'm going to pour a little bit in here. A little bit there. And some of the blue. Okay. And a little bit of water through my pipette, because they're kind of old paints, and I want a bit more water I have a stirring stick. Be careful. Okay. Clean up the stick a bit and the blue. Hopefully this works, but who knows? I'm going to put this away, let it dry, and be able to read. Now, these are two sponges. This one is mimicking a sea sponge, and this is actually a sea sponge. They give kind of the same result, but also very different. So, why do we need a sponge? I want to add some texture, and this is a stencil that I picked up at Dollar Tree. It's okay. There are some imperfections, but I can work it around it. So be careful. Let's do that one. And I'm going to use the cellulose sponge. Carefully pull it off. I think I added too much water, but we'll work with it. And dab off the excess water. Let it dry with the help of a blow dryer. Now, I know I'm throwing you for a loop as far as including a little bit of acrylics in the mix, but hopefully you'll take away from this as a way of trying new supplies. So I'm going to go in with a little tiny brush. And using the same color here, diluted way more than I need. To make it better, I think. So let's see. And this is the blue. just have fun and experiment. All right, done. Oh, and this was a Da Vinci Nova Synthetic 5/0, which is really tiny. So I'm going to let that dry, and don't put your brushes in vertical position to dry, because the water will go down into the ferrule and mix up your brushes big time. So since I added too much water into these, I'm going to put a little bit more paint in the mixture to thicken up the paint. Sorry, stick, you're not done for the day. And yes, I talk to my inanimate objects all the time. Well, for buying these like 2 years ago, that's not too bad. And I like the craft paint, but the only problem is with the craft paint is you have to apply more layers than I like in order to have the opacity. So let's go with this one. Hopefully that works. Again, with my sponge. Carefully pull up. That didn't go as planned, but again, that's okay. I'm going to gently collect some of the paint and try a look about that. Okay, we're getting there. And the blow dryer again. And because this is really standing out, I want to tone it down a little bit because a lot of contrast here. So I'm going to go back with my tiny brush. Let's get in there with a pencil so I know where I'm going. But if you're brave, you can just go in with the paint without the pencil. And since it's already pretty thin, I'm going to blend it out a little bit. And another layer. Because it's already pretty active. So you might as well go for the gusto. And since it's acrylic, it won't smear or lift up. And since I don't want this to be the only 3, I'm going to add some acrylic in here. Okay, so this is how I finish my doodles. Some techniques I don't use very often. This was new to me, totally. I've used stencils before, but in a different way. I like the jelly roll and the acrylic paints up here and here and here, because basically I like to have fun and explore when I'm doodling, so it's a matter of having fun. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and thank you for being with me for today. And see, more paint. I hope you got inspired to just play around and have fun, and remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.